It's Friday Night Writes with the Stop Writing Alone community. I'm Nicole Rivera, and I'm here every single week sharing prompts, exercises, and writing prompt parties for you to be inspired for the whole weekend through. Come on in, bring your notebook, your laptop, or whatever it is you want to write with, because as soon as we get started, you'll be inspired to start scribbling away your weekend. Thanks for coming, and enjoy your Friday Night Writes. It's March's writing prompt party. We had such a huge participation rate that I had to split the video into two. In this part 1, you'll be introduced to the writing prompt and the writing prompt tool of the month. At the end, you can decide to write your own story, set your own timer, and then head on over to part 2 to hear all the read alouds of the participants that were live with me on Zoom doing this prompt. If you want to make sure that you're involved in the next time that I record a writing prompt party, which is once a month all year, head to the show description and make sure you sign up for the Friday Night Writes email list so that you can get your invite for next month. Okay. Hi, everybody. Let's pretend everybody just showed up. Hey, it's good to see you. All right. No, I am super ecstatic. This is a really big group. So we're going to have a lot of reading time at the end. Oh, I completely forgot to set up the cuckoo timer. I'll do that in a minute and I'll share it with you. So for writing prompt parties, there are some seasoned veterans here, but there are some people that are new. What we do is we do a little bit of chat, which we've kind of been doing already. But we also then pick a writing prompt. I set a timer. We all write, and it's up to you if you want to use your computer, or I usually do them in a notebook. You write to the prompt. When the timer goes off, everybody's going to have an opportunity to read what they wrote aloud for the group. And that sounds terrifying, but just remember that everybody here is in exactly the same boat. We are all going to see this prompt for the first time in a minute, and we're all going to have the same amount of time. And it's a first draft for all of us. So we're all going to have the, please don't mind this madness that I just came up with, or I didn't quite finish where I got to. That's what we're all in here for. It's just a really fun exercise and activity to be involved with fellow writers. One, fellow writers can point out to you kind of what your writing superpower is, because you're not going to realize that you are the master of describing a scene in the first moments that you enter something, or character development or dialogue or whatever it is. And then the other thing that has always been the thing that makes me fall in love with these writing prompt parties is to hear how many different, like wildly different stories come from exactly the same idea in exactly the same amount of time, just because it's a whole bunch of different brains working on it. So it's really exciting, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, we have someone coming in. Oh, I think Audrey. It's just a double Audrey. Very exciting. We have two Audrey's. Okay, so I have decided for this week that we are going to use what I call the Five Below prompts, because that's the store in which I purchased them. But it's called Right Now, which is the name of a lot of different writing prompt tools out there. So I will tell you that this it comes in a box. It's like one of those kits. And
Right Now by Five Below.
It's not by Five Below. No, that's why I want to make sure that you have the name of Ellie Marney. I believe when I researched her, I believe she's an Australian writer. And the publishing company is Hinkler. And it's one of those things it came in one big box, and it came with this deck of cards and this little journal. And the journal isn't much. It's a notebook with blank pages in it. And then in the front, it has like one pagers on basically different things to know about writing. We have, hold on one second. If I could go in the right order, that would be helpful. just a really brief overview of like what is story. It's like Cliff Notes. That's how I kind of see this book. It's kind of like the Cliff Notes for all different things. There's 2 pages on story structure. We all know that we could write like multiple novels length pieces on story structure, but it's 2 pages on story style. So it's got a lot. I just love to have this, to have a space to write these stories. The real powerhouse that comes with this is the deck of cards. It has all these different cards that have all different types of prompts on them. All these colors represent different things. And I went nuts one day and shuffled them. So it's a hot mess now. So we have like, don't think, just write. The yellows are free writing prompts. Don't stop writing until you reach the bottom of the page, and they give you a line. I'd never felt so embarrassed in my life. And then you just go. Or setting the scene is another type of prompt that they have. Where does this story take place? Describe the setting as you tell the story. And then they give you a line. It was a private beach. He unlaced his shoes, peeled off his socks, took it all in, ... And you go from there. They have world building cards. They have story starters. They have dialogue kickstarters, which are kind of neat. They kind of look like a text. They give you the beginning of a dialogue and you get started with a story based on that. Yeah, they said what? Write a story about a character type in a situation you're not used to seeing them in. So for example, this one says, nobody goes into this witch's house on Bleecker Street until the local plumber is called one day to deal with a blocked toilet. When the plumber enters the house, what do they find? So those are always fun. I like they did what cards. So I'm going to put it out to you guys. Do you want me to shuffle the cards and randomly get whatever it is that we get? Or is there one type of sort of prompt that you feel is speaking to you? Try a new genre is another one. Okay, John, I see your hand. Go ahead. What are you feeling, John?
I think just shuffle them and then we'll pick one. And then if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, if it works out for the majority of the people here, then let's do it. If not, then let's pass and do something else.
Okay, we will do one veto. I will allow one veto. And then if we need to veto it, just one, because then that'll give us 2 cards to choose from. That is typically the way we roll, because a lot of times when we do the veto, we end up in a much worse space than where we started. And many people end up with the first thing. Anyway, how many people can say amen to that? Thank you. Thank
Amen.
you. Thank you. I have a couple of thank you.
Al's having a religious experience.
It was wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle. Nope, I'm terrible all of a sudden. All those years of grandpa teaching me to play poker.
Yeah, we vetoed one last week and it ended up being much
It
worse.
was last week, right? That's what I'm saying. I feel like we recently had this veto problem where we vetoed something and then got something new. And then we were like, okay, I'm going back.
When you say last week, do you actually mean last month? Because if you're having these things weekly and I don't know about it, I'm going to be upset.
Okay, so the Happy Campers does a writing prompt party every single week, but the Friday Night Writes only does them once a month. So I do believe it was in our very small, like nobody showed up. We had like 4 of us last week because Jackie scared everybody. I'm blaming you, Jackie. On Thursday, she said to everyone, I don't know why more people aren't coming. You should totally come. This is a great experience. They're not scary. That was the words that she used. And then the least amount of people ever came because she used the word
scary. She's trying to be encouraging. And it
backfired. Okay, I picked this. What is that? Red, pink? Story starter.
Magenta.
Thank you, magenta. I'm used to that. My son pulls out. He likes to tell me about vermilion a lot. Chartreuse even. What? You're 6. Stop. Okay, story starter. Continue the story. Families are a pain, even when you're the chosen one. My mother says that after that last stunt, she'll ground me if ... to silent typing. I will ask now, is anyone feeling that this has to be vetoed or that they don't want to try this one? Hold on, I went away from the screen. Okay, now we can do a show of hands. Veto? No, we like the chosen one. Okay, lots of nods. All right, so big group, massive group. I'm putting 15 minutes on the timer. In the chat, I just put a link. It says cuckoo something / stop writing alone. That is our timer. I will click it and you can have it on your on your open in your browser if it's helpful to you. You don't have to. I will let you know when time is up, but I know that some people like to have the timer, and it's a kind of gentle nudge. Somebody started the timer. I didn't realize you guys had that power. Hold on a second.
Okay, wait, I have a quick question.
Yes, please ask the question.
Is this meant to be our like opening phrase, or is this just like?
Since it's a story starter, yes, I believe we are all going to start with this sentence. Is it by chance? Jackie, did you happen to type that in the thing or no?
I did indeed.
Oh,
I think I have it right. Somebody double check me, but I think I got it.
Families are a pain, even when you're the chosen one. My mother says that after that last lunch, she'll ground me if. Yes, that is perfect. Thank you so much. So yes, if you need the first line, Jackie has typed it in the chat for everybody, but since it's defined as story starter, I believe we all start there and go.
Although, of course, as always, writing prompt parties,
you do you.
Broken.
Yeah, you do you. Whatever it takes to get you to getting this story, that is what we're here for. Are there any questions before I set the timer? Okay, good luck and happy writing, everyone. I will mute myself. I will ask everybody to, if you haven't already, just to mute yourselves so we don't hear clickety clacks and pen scratches. But good luck. See you in 15. So one more time, your prompt is, families are a pain, even when you're the chosen one. My mother says that after that last stunt, she'll ground me if. Go ahead and write, or just hop on over and hear the stories that were written. But it's going to be a whole new video, so go check out the March Writing Prompt Party Part 2, where everyone who participated will read what they wrote based on that prompt, given only 15 minutes. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. Don't forget to check out the show notes, to subscribe, to like, to come back next week, and head on over to stopwritingalone.com for all things Stop Writing Alone, podcast shops, even more.